no secret that I'm something of an indie game connoisseur. Sometimes though, these games are just plain simple fun, and it can be hard to make a full video about them. As such, I've taken a few of the indie games I've been playing recently, and we're going to talk about them together in one video. Let's get to it. If you're looking for a relaxed and cozy dungeon crawler, look no further than Dungeons of Hinterberg. This was a Humble Bundle pickup for June, and I was pretty stoked to try it out. It wears its inspirations proudly, with Persona and Zelda being the two most obvious. The story is about learning to relax and take life one moment at a time. Our protagonist takes a vacation from her job in law to visit Hinterberg, a cozy countryside teeming with monsters, magic, and, of course, dungeons. During the day, you'll venture out and explore the various regions, battling monsters, collecting loot, and solving puzzles, both in and out of the dungeons. This is where the Zelda influence comes in, and as someone who grew up playing almost every single Zelda game, I can vouch for the dungeon quality here. There's a total of 24 dungeons to tackle, with each housing puzzles, combat encounters, and treasure. I've not completed the game fully, though from what I've played, the puzzles here are mostly pretty straightforward. They're fun to complete, and some do require some brainstorming to figure out, but nothing that's halted the game in its tracks. They're well-designed dungeons, and they'll take anywhere from 30 minutes to maybe an hour to complete, depending on your puzzle-solving prowess. Each region in Hinterberg has their own magic spells, meaning that certain spells are tied to certain areas. You can't use the tornado in the first region because that ability is tied to the second region. I wasn't sure how I felt about getting new abilities only to have them taken away in the next region, but so far I actually don't mind it. The spells are used in dungeons to solve puzzles specific to those abilities, which further makes each region, and by extension, dungeon, more distinct. These spells are also used in combat, which as a whole isn't the best combat system out there, but in fitting with the relaxed theme, it's also pretty fun without being too difficult. Don't get me wrong, there are some challenging fights here, but the controls are easy to grasp, and if you are defeated, you simply restart right before the combat encounter. Combining light and heavy attacks alongside your magic abilities is really engaging, and the sound effects are crunchy and satisfying. There's also gear that you can equip, and additional combat abilities that you can mix and match that do remain from region to region, so there's plenty of different ways to approach combat. The Persona influence comes in the form of social links you'll form at night and during special events. It's your standard social link. Hang out with someone to raise your friendship level, unlocking more and more perks that help you out in various ways. What I really liked about this though was, firstly, there's no dating side to this. I know I may be alone in this, but it was nice to have these social links remain wholesome instead of leaning on the romantic side. Again, it may just be me. But even more impressive was, secondly, the perks you get here are not only much easier to get than social links in, say, Persona, but they're generally far more helpful. I won't get into detail since this is just a high-level overview, but these perks are extremely helpful, and the characters themselves are wholesome and funny. I know I just used the word wholesome twice now, but that's really the impression Dungeons of Hinterberg leaves me with every time I play it. It's just some nice, casual fun. It's not the most in-depth or captivating, but it's cozy, relaxing to play, and it does have some genuine RPG mechanics to play around with. It's just a fun game that respects your time, and you know what? We could use more of those. I like wizards, and I like XCOM. So when you throw a game called Tactical Breach Wizards at me, you can consider all of my boxes checked. Tactical Breach Wizards is what Chimera Squad wanted to be. It's a tactical turn-based strategy game, although that's a loose definition. You clear one room at a time, and the game will consistently add new mechanics to deal with. Enemies can be defeated by simply dealing damage to them, but that damage often comes from pushing them against objects, each other, or, more satisfyingly, out of windows. It's a simple premise, but the execution is anything but. Most rooms offer additional conditions to meet if you're feeling up for a bigger challenge. It's extremely gratifying to complete, though they're also completely optional, meaning that you can ignore them if you're looking for a more traditional turn-based tactics experience as opposed to the finite solution puzzle-like experience. As a reward for completing these bonus objectives, you can unlock outfits for your crew. Wait, what? Is that right? They don't charge you for these? No microtransactions. Just earnable cosmetics? Wow, crazy times we live in. Outside of your drip, there's also skill points to spend, and these can enhance your squad's abilities in some really potent ways. These power-ups can take those bonus objectives from having a single solution to many, many more, which makes these power-ups feel extremely rewarding to pick up, and makes you really contemplate which ones you want to invest in. Pair this with the ability to rewind time, and not only will you be thinking about what moves to make, but you can actually try them, and if it doesn't work out, you can simply rewind to try something else. This adds a lot of trial without the error, which allows you to see how things play out instead of leaving it all up to the mental gymnastics. The core gameplay is really fun, and having these tight interiors means that every move counts. Moving your units one square to the left or right can drastically change the way things play out, and it's finding that perfect play that makes Tactical Breach Wizards so addicting and rewarding to play. In addition to the awesome turn-based puzzle-like tactics, try saying that 12 times fast. Turn-based puzzle-like tactics. Turn-based puzzle-like tactic. I can't do it. In between missions, you'll be met with the story, which is actually far better than I was expecting. This has got to be one of the least serious stories ever. It's just jokes after jokes after jokes, and honestly, most of the jokes are funny. The writing is extremely witty, like really, really witty. It had me genuinely laughing out loud at times, and if I wasn't laughing, chances are I had at least a sly smile. It's subjective, the humor, but I found it to be a really easy read, and it delivers some really good one-liners that I may or may not be stealing as we speak. Overall, it's just a great time. The lighthearted dialogue really complements the in-depth turn-based combat, and it's a hard game to put down once you start. It's probably the best tactics game I've played since XCOM 2, and I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I really like XCOM 2. I've never been a big Resident Evil guy. I'm just not really into horror all that much. So when Crow Country catches my eye, a survival horror title in the same vein as Resident Evil, I had to at least try it, and I'm glad I did. As I said, it's a survival horror title. You collect supplies, solve puzzles, and unravel the story, all while fighting the hideous monstrosities lurking about. You play as Secret Agent What? You play as Secret Agent Mara. You travel to the titular Crow Country, a rundown and seemingly abandoned theme park to uncover the secrets within. The story is more straightforward than you might think, but there are some twists that I think will catch most people off guard. It's pretty good. The atmosphere is really the high point here though. It's dark, it's grim, and it's, well, at least it looks stinky. This heightens pretty much every part of the game, allowing for a tense and unnerving cloud to hang over every aspect. You may feel a sense of urgency and uncertainty while trying to solve some clever but admittedly easy puzzles. You'll feel a sense of dread and frailty while fighting monsters. It's never really downright scary, but it's consistently creepy, which, for me at least, helps keep the pace brisk. It was never so terrifying to where I didn't want to continue, but it was eerie enough to where I knew the next room would always house something a bit ghoulish. And Crow Country consistently delivers on that front. Its setting of a rundown amusement park means that every space has something new to show. From oceanic vistas to haunted forests, there's a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and the puzzles play around within and across the themes quite well. As I said, they're not brain-busting, but they're clever enough to have you racking your brain with some puzzles, which brings that sinister atmosphere to the foreground even more. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not a big survival horror guy, but even so, Crow Country really grabbed me and gave me a newfound appreciation for these games that may see me experimenting with more like it in the future. And that's about it. Not a ton of games, but some that I've really had a good time with. If you like this overview of great indie games, let me know. Did you like them together like this in one video, or would you have preferred their own specific showcase? Either way, thanks for sticking around to the end. Until next time. Dolphin score should be twice the mermaid score. The boat score should be twice the dolphin score, and the shark score should be twice the boat score. Okay. Highest grossing film. Oh, this is like an actual question. Star Wars, obviously. Okay.
There aren't any countries in Europe. 0.
What? Okay. What do you mean? What do you think, dude? Come on, give me some help here.
I think it's the World Trade Center, but
I'm never listening to you again.